What is going on, everybody? We are back with another wrestling review. This is CCW, and I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Dynamite.
Dynamite for September 3rd.
Yeah. And we're live again from Philly. We being them. I'm not. We're from Indy.
Yeah, back
But,
to the ECW arena, or the
um,
2300 arena as they call it now.
it started off as what I thought was only going to be Excalibur and Taz on commentary. I got excited, and then I saw Shivani, and I was like, well, I just missed
And then Tony ruined everything.
Actually, he wasn't that bad tonight. I think I was mostly ignored him.
Me too.
But as they're trying to do the introduction, Gabe Kidd starts talking, and he comes out with the mic. He's asking where Darby's at, and Darby comes out, and they start fighting. Gabe gets the upper hand until Darby hits a coffin drop to the outside of the ring on him. Darby eventually gets a skateboard with thumbtacks glued on it. Just don't use super glue. Uses it off the top to Yuta's back, who interfered during the fight. Claudio, Max, and Marina Shafir eventually show up. The lights go out. Hook's spotlight shows up, and Hook comes out. After the ops also come out, it becomes a full-on brawl. Willow comes out and fights Marina, so she got involved as well. And then they just brawl for a while, and then they go to commercial break. And when they come back, or maybe they didn't go to commercial break. I think they just went right to.
They did not go to commercial break. They just went to the back, and Darby and Kid were fighting.
Darby put Gabe to sleep with a chloroform rag, and then put him in a body bag that was in the back of the truck. And this body bag happened to be attached by chain to the back of the truck. And at that point, Darby jumped in the truck and drove off, dragging him. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a visual spectacle.
It was a fun intro, though.
It was lively. It was lively.
They're setting up blood and guts match is what they're doing.
They're setting up something. The Hook and Ops situation here was weird, but we'll get more of that here shortly.
I thought the segment was good until it looked like Hook was about to cry.
Yeah, Hook had some weird facials going on.
Yeah, he did. Match 1. Probably not the match of the night, but it was a good match.
It was a good match.
Mercedes and Alex. I thought it was a really good match until they started fucking up their submissions.
You forgot to call her Alex Windsor.
I said this should have been a submission match with as much as they talked about tapping each other out.
And maybe that's where we're going eventually.
Yeah.
Because Mercedes keeps sneaking by with roll-ups.
But these women looked great pretty early. Monet, midway through the match, hits a wonderful powerbomb into the apron. It was kind of fun.
Yep.
Alex gets a sharpshooter outside the ring. In the ring, Windsor then goes for a move, and Mercedes reverses it into kind of a bank statement, or she tried to get it into a bank statement, or what do they call it now?
I can't remember. I still call it a bank statement.
I wrote it down because she does hit it later. It'll come up in my notes here in a few. Monet then hits a backstabber. Windsor hits a clothesline out of the backstabber. Windsor did the pin to driver. I said at least someone's using it.
Right. It was sloppy.
It was.
So was her Blue Thunder bomb.
But Monet hits the statement maker. That's what it's called.
Statement maker.
I knew I'd find it somewhere in here.
Nice.
In the middle of the ring, Windsor touches the rope, but then Monet kicks them away from the rope.
I did too. I was like, shouldn't the ref have broke it up? She did touch the she did touch the rope.
Yeah, that should have been an instant breakup, but apparently Audrey didn't see it. Aubrey. I don't know why I called her Audrey.
Close enough.
Windsor almost got a pin on her though, out of the move, and then Monet hits a roll up for the 1-2-3. I put these women actually looked really good for most of the match. Windsor goes for the handshake. Monet flips her off. Windsor attacks her, almost heel-like in a way.
Yep.
And while they fight, Monet starts to get the upper hand, and then Riho comes out. Thankfully, with not her old normal song. And
yeah, so Windsor went for a double leg and then went to put Monet in a sharpshooter, and Monet countered by slapping her in the head with the title that she was holding.
Yeah.
Then she slapped on a bank statement, and out came Riho.
Yeah, Rio comes out and helped Windsor. I said, I don't know if I care for that, but, you know, it is what it
I
is.
was like, fucking Riho out for the save. Kill me now.
She, Riho hasn't been around for however many year and a half, I think.
She comes and goes.
And I'm pretty sure this time it was because of visa issues, if I remember correctly.
I know Akara Shida's not been around because of visa issues, because Kenny's been watching her cat.
Right.
But wish it was Shida and not Riho.
Yeah. But, you know, they need somebody to face Monet that hasn't wrestled her yet.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, at least it's a new matchup, I guess.
But I am curious as to how they're going to do that with how Windsor's going to play into it. She just needs to step away from that feud for a little bit and work on something else.
Yeah, I don't know what Windsor's going to do after this, to be honest with you.
This has kind of been her whole...
Because this is kind of the blow-off.
Yeah. This has been her whole AEW personality since she's been here, is going for this fucking title. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
Run it.
After that, we got an Ops backstage segment where Joe is talking and Hook walks in, and Hook is big mad at the Ops. Said, you didn't even wait for the body to be cold before you replaced me. And Joe's like, buck up, Buttercup. Opportunity presented itself. We took it because that's what we do as the Ops. You're gonna need me. You're gonna need us at some point, whether you like it or not. So pretty much get over yourself, kid. Kind of a rough segment, to be honest. Hook's facials here. He just looked like a whiny bitch, which is not what they want, I'm sure.
I liked the segment as a whole until the end of it. So, like, I loved what Joe had to say, because he's like, you have every right to be mad. He's like, but you know what? At some point, you're going to need our help, and whether you like it or not, we're going to help you.
Yeah.
And after he said that, Hook had this look on his face like he wanted to cry.
Yeah, his facials were not good.
And that's when I was like, ugh. Go!
Yeah, he had that pouty face going on.
But yeah, which I already knew. That was one of the things I had mentioned before. I'd said that I'm pretty sure they're going to eventually tie all the story into Hook being mad at the Ops for replacing him.
Yep.
And yeah, that's... but what did he expect him to do? Just not wrestle?
Right? Wait for me, guys. I'll be back in 6 months.
So yeah, that was that. Keep going. You got this.
That was that. The next segment, another backstage segment, it was Ricochet in the Gates of Agony. Ricochet explaining that his issues with the Hurt Syndicate and them is personal.
It predates AEW.
Yep, it predates that stuff. Goa says that they ended their tag reign. Now the goal is to go after their legacy. They want to do it in Toronto. Sets up the match. Sets up a challenge for a match at All Out. Not All In. We already did that show. At All Out. And we'll see if Hurt Syndicate accepts.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty okay backstage set. A better one from Ricochet than lately.
It was probably the best Ricochet has sounded. He didn't come across as a whiny little bitch,
right, or
some comedic chicken shit heel. He came across more
determined, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even know if determined is the word, but more serious, more of a... Yeah, just more serious. Treated this a lot more serious than the shit he has been doing, where he gets bullied, put up against a wall, or sounds like a little bitch and stuff. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come for Ricochet, because, man, he was looking bad there for quite a few weeks.
Then we get another in-ring segment. This is a fun one. Mark Briscoe comes out, and he's excited to be in Philly. Says this is the building where him and his brother fell in love with pro wrestling, and he started getting "We love you, Jay." I think the crowd was chanting something about Jay. I just don't remember what it was. But he says his focus is Kyle Fletcher in that TNT title. He said Don Callis looked like a penis. And then he says...
He looked like Elton John dressed up as a penis for Halloween or something.
Yeah, I just left it at penis. I don't... I honestly, that little segment there was kind of just a bunch of shit thrown together that didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was weird.
He said that the guy he has... he says send the guy he has to beat down to the ring. I needed more punctuation there because that was a word fucking jumble. Callis comes out with Romero and Archer, and he says he knows Mark is impatient, but he's a little busy with the main event tonight. And he's like, so this Saturday on Collision, Mark will wrestle Konosuke Takeshita, which I said was going to happen. I just thought it was going to happen tonight. I didn't know it was going to happen on Saturday. Mark says that's cool, but he also came ready to fight. And he says,
what did he say? I put my fighting pants on or something.
Yeah. Romero takes his shirt off and offers to wrestle himself, but Don sends in Lance Archer. I'd have rather them sent in.
He sent the only guy who wore gear out to the segment.
I'd have rather him sent Romero, though. I don't like them making Lance Archer look bad.
And they do.
Yeah, they do. Match 2, Mark Briscoe versus Lance Archer. Briscoe attacks as Lance is getting in the ring. It's honestly kind of just a slow back and forth. Late in the match, Archer hits Briscoe with both a turnbuckle powerbomb and a chokeslam, gets a 2 count. He goes for the blackout, which is his finisher. Briscoe fights back and hits a drop kick out of the corner. Briscoe then, a little bit later, hits a sunset flip powerbomb off of the turnbuckle, which Archer kicks out of.
Yep.
Mark then hits a froggy bow for the win right after. I said it was an okay TV match. The turnbuckle powerbomb was sloppy and Archer landed funny, but otherwise it was a passable match.
Yeah, you could tell he didn't want to take that bump.
Which is weird because it's not like it was that far down.
Well, when you're that big. But yeah, it made Archer... It did... honestly, it did very little for Briscoe in the win, but it made Lance Archer look very bad in defeat.
Like I said, this should have been a Romero match.
I agree.
I feel
Romero taking the L does nothing to... It puts Briscoe over and does nothing to Romero, because Romero is an enhancement talent anyways.
Right. And Lance is honestly a good enough wrestler. He could be a top mid-card guy if they would just book him that way.
Sure. He was at one point when Jake Roberts was with him.
Yeah. But yeah. Go ahead.
Toni Storm's segment next. The long and short of it is she wants someone to step up. So come one, come all. Looks like we're going to start setting up whatever Tony's program is for the pay-per-view. What that could be, they didn't really state. It was just kind of a segment where she was kind of talking about the arena and the town, and
I don't know who they put up against her at this point, because like I said,
I don't either. Unless they've got somebody premiering that they haven't shown yet.
It'd be kind of cool if it was Dakota Kai, but I don't.
I would be down with that.
I would too. But my problem is, unless it's somebody like a newcomer like Dakota Kai or something like that, so you've already run through, because she even mentions during the thing, both a belt collector and a forever champion couldn't stop her. So that's the top 2 other women besides Toni in AEW. And then on top of that, you've got...
except for Stat, who's in some weird segment that we'll talk about next.
Yeah, Stat's doing stuff with Harley, and then...
Willow's trapped in the triangle.
Willow's trapped in the Death Rider's vortex. And then...
And the triangle. She's in all that shit.
Yeah.
If it's a multi-person match, she's in it. You
can't even really do Hayter as a face versus face match because Hayter's...
No, because, Hayter's after Tekla.
Yeah, dealing with Tekla. So that really doesn't leave any of their big stars. Bane's also involved in...
the triangle stuff.
So I don't know where they go unless they do bring somebody new in.
unless they bring somebody new in or Britt Baker decides to come to work. But
Like
I
I
think
said,
that's all but done.
unless they bring somebody new in, I don't want Britt Baker back.
I don't either. I think her time has come and gone.
Um,
But it would be a name.
yeah. Um,
And they've had matches before that were pretty decent.
True. So then backstage,
Maybe since Riho's back, Sheeta pops up on Collision.
good, good. Backstage, Harley and Chris are being goofy. Something about Harley has a rat inside of her all along, or some shit.
Harley's stuff was kind of hard to watch.
Well, I did like the part where she's like, "We're undefeated. I want Brodito." And Chris is like,
"Team is going places."
Chris is like, "Oh, hold on. How about we stick with Megan and Penelope?"
The segment was ruined as soon as Yuta walked on the screen.
So I didn't mind everything going on that Harley and Chris were doing, but then Yuta steps in and he's like, "Yo, the Death Riders are looking out for you," and they were like, "We don't need that," and he was like, "I'll let them know."
Yeah, I wish they would either shit or get off the pot with whatever this is going to be.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to lead to a Chris versus Marina match, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yay. Everybody's clamoring to see that. Anyways, next match, we get the tag team title match, which was Brodito.
Match of the night.
This was your match of the night?
Probably.
Really? Over the main event?
I didn't watch much of the main event. I was working.
Oh, well, you missed a hell of a match. It was a spot fest. Brodito, the tag champs, against the Death Riders, consisting of Claudio Castagnoli and the aforementioned Wheeler Yuta. Wrestling early. They did some wrestling, him and Yuta, or Bandito and Yuta. Bandito got the better of Yuta. The big meat slappers tagged in next and immediately started a slap fight. So, great stuff there. There was a weird point later in the match where Bandito starts dancing in the middle of the ring and wants Brody King to dance with him, and Brody just throws his hands up and walks to the corner to get out of the ring. So it was very weird.
So what it was Brody King went and did Bandito's little taunt thing with the finger guns. Bang, bang.
Oh, yeah?
And he then looks over Bandito, and Bandito starts doing the Macarena, is what he was doing. And he didn't look over for...
He threw his hands up and was like, I'm out.
He didn't look over for King to dance with him. He looked over for approval, and King held up an X, which was him being like, no, not good. It kind of like, think of... what the fuck is that show called? Like The Voice?
America's Got Talent.
Or America's Got Talent. It's like he holds up the X. It's like him not approving of the dance, and then he gets out of the ring laughing at him.
Yeah, that's too deep a cut for me.
I thought it was hilarious, but
it was interesting. It was out of fucking nowhere. Eventually, Bandito hits a stalling suplex on Claudio. A code red counter also by Bandito. Hot tag to Brody. Brody comes in. Corner cannonball. Marina Shafir ends up getting a distraction. Out comes Mox. It looks like the heels are going to come out and screw the baby faces. This led to a giant swing drop kick by the Death Riders for a near fall. This brings Darby back out. Darby comes out, jumps on Mox's back for a choke. All this chaos out there kind of distracts the Death Riders, allowing Bandito to hit his springboard German on Yuta for the win. So the champs retained.
After Brody King punched Yuta in the face, it was amazing.
Well, there was a lot of forearms and thigh slapping here for those spots.
Yeah, there was.
Overall, pretty good match. I mean, it was a TV tag match. It started getting sloppy with all the interference, but that's the Death Riders thing.
That's the Death Riders for you.
God, I'll be so glad when they break this group up.
So backstage, Okada says Takeshita can call himself the Alpha, but he is the Rainmaker, and everyone knows that the Rainmaker is the I said best. I think he said big dog of the family,
He said top dog.
top dog, and then he called him a bitch. Which
Yeah, my note for this is
bitch.
He's top dog, bitch. I said this was nothing and pointless.
it's building up to what I said was eventually going to happen. That somebody had mentioned.
Yeah, but they could have just furthered that in more like multi-man matches.
Right. Listen, I'm trying to get away from multi-man matches. Stop it.
Having Okada say the one sentence he knows in English isn't doing any better.
No, but it's way less time taken.
Okay, you know what? I'll stand behind that. I will stand behind that. Next segment is the Hurt Syndicate backstage. Essentially, MJF. Wow, wrong acronym. MVP, the actual member of the Hurt Syndicate.
Wrong race.
Well, a lot of wrong. MVP, say that again. MVP, one more time. MVP calls Ricochet a whiny hater and a joke. Tells Gates of Agony to not let him ruin their careers and turn them into jokes. They accept the challenge for All Out. MVP was like, I will lace up my boots and go to battle with my boys, and we'll see what happens.
He says, I look forward to punching Ricochet in that bitch-made mouth.
Yeah.
I actually really liked MVP's promo here.
MVP's always been good on the mic.
So yeah, that was enjoyable. And of course, as they walked off, it was what's his face?
Shelton,
yeah. Shelton told Renee, he's like,
always a pleasure, Renee.
Always a pleasure, Renee. As he walks off. After that, we get an in-ring segment. Cope comes to the ring, probably to talk shit, but we'll never know, because FTR comes out from nowhere and starts jumping him, beating his ass. Christian eventually makes it to the ring. They all start fighting, and the faces start to kind of get the little comeback. Dex gets... I don't know what happened or where I missed something, but eventually Dax gets busted open during the brawl. Security in the Ring of Honor locker room come out to break it up. I don't know why you'd send the Ring of Honor locker room. It's a little weird, but...
I have my notes say, out come all the jobbers.
But Dax starts fighting the Ring of Honor guys at that point as well, and they start fighting back as well. Specifically one guy that looks a lot like the dude from NXT.
It's the one guy they had the tag match with last week. The little guy, not the bigger guy, but the little guy.
Right.
I think.
And this led into a post-commercial backstage segment where FTR are in the back and they start arguing with the wrestler that attacked them. And Dax was like, yo, get your gear. We're going to make you famous again.
And he said, find you a partner.
Find you a partner for Saturday. And there was some Stoke yelling at the screen because that's what Stoke does.
He's like, get out of here. I have something to say. And he just literally said, top guy's out. It was his one spot of the whole show, so he had to get it in. And
run with the end, because I even missed how the fucking match ended. I don't even know who won technically.
Oh man, you missed all kinds of stuff.
I caught some of it. So like my notes were literally oof, Don Callis on commentary. Big brawl breaks out early.
Yep.
And then I missed enough to my next note was like there was a cool double TK driver spot.
Okay. Yeah, so nice wrestling started. So it started out as Josh Alexander and Hangman. They wrestled around for a little bit, counters back and forth where nobody got over. Once Hangman did kind of get over, it just kind of turned into chaos after that. Everybody got in the ring. Eventually, the babyfaces threw the heels out and hit a four-way springboard dive to each side of the ring. Then they went to commercial. After that, it was just Spot City. Pop-up powerbomb by Hangman to Fletcher. multiple TK drivers, one in the ring where Fletcher was holding a guy in a tombstone, and then Matt had the other guy outside, and Nick hit both TK drivers there. Fletcher and Omega had an elbow exchange. Yes, people, I do write down every elbow exchange I see because it drives me that crazy. Oh shit, where'd I go? Where'd my notes go? TK drivers, elbow exchange. Essentially, the heels won with a big giant team up move where they just beat the fuck out of people. Fletcher hit the brainbuster for the win, and then after the match, we got a big old post-match beatdown by
we did.
The heels, and then the rest of the Don Callis family that was there. Needless to say, this set up Fletcher. I think Fletcher is going to be Hangman's next opponent because Fletcher came out of this looking really good.
That'd be weird though, because he.
I know, but why would you feature Fletcher this heavily? Because he beat up both of the top baby faces. He hit a brain buster on a folding chair to Hangman, and then he hit a brain buster off the apron through a table to Kenny.
And cut himself open in the process.
Yeah, he cut himself open because the stupid straps around the table that they never remove. Has RVD taught these people nothing?
Shit, the worst one I'd ever seen was Hardcore Holly in ECW. WWE ECW.
RVD caught one because him and Sabu used to do that double team move where they did the leg drop and splash from opposite corners through a table.
Right.
He hit one of those and he got smacked in the eye and got cut above the eye.
Yeah, the one that I was talking about, I don't know if you've seen it, but Hardcore Holly.
Oh, I've seen it where Hardcore Holly's bleeding all down his back because he's got like a 6-inch gash.
He's got a huge gash across his back. Managed to finish the fucking match, though. That man was a fighter.
The reason I think the RVD one is worse is because it was right above his eye, and he was bleeding like crazy. It was a big, deep cut there.
Right.
He's lucky he didn't get his fucking eye cut out.
But yeah, no, it was a good spot, though.
Yeah, it was overall it was an okay show. It felt like it didn't have a ton of matches. It felt like there was a lot of in-ring or backstage segments. So
my problem with Dynamite and Collision is there's no balance, right?
I agree.
So Dynamite,
it's like one match, 3 segments, or 3 interview segments. One match, 3 more segments.
Dynamite is very sports entertainment heavy, and Collision is very wrestling heavy. So Dynamite will have, on average, 4 matches with several longer segments that could have, either been matches or better segments, anyways. And then you'll get to Collision, and it'll be like 9 matches. And like 2 or 3 of them are squash matches, just to get extra talent on the show.
Right.
And I just wish there was more balance.
I agree.
Because I'm not even...
Some of those talking segments could be moved to Collision.
Yeah. And then some of the other things, like FTR, traditionally speaking, is a Collision team.
Yep. They're in a big program with Cope and them. That's why they're
I feel like
promoting it across both shows.
Cope and Christian could have just showed up to Collision and got their beat down.
Yeah. Well, then you didn't. Then you couldn't have set up the tag team match that FTR is having this coming week.
That we don't need.
I was just literally about to say that is absolutely pointless, but
I don't.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with Collision is, like, Collision typically has 2 or 3 decent matches, but then it has like 4 that aren't necessary, that like aren't doing anything for anybody.
It's mostly where Kyle Fletcher defends his TNT title, since the show actually takes place on TNT.
Right. But yeah, I don't know, because like I said, I thought it was a pretty good Dynamite. I think it was better than Raw, not much, but Raw was pretty good too. So like,
I liked Raw a little better. I think there was just so many things in between the matches here that it kind of drug it down. There was a lot of pointless angles, or not even angles, just kind of pointless things. The Tony Storm thing, kind of pointless. What else did I have that was kind of pointless? Um, the Okada thing was, I mean, you can just tell that they're literally there for filler to fill time. And like, yeah, the ops thing also kind of pointless. Like, I get that you do need to fill that time, but they need to feel a little more substantial than what we're getting.
well, the problem isn't because I feel like those segments are still necessary because they're helping push, like the two specifically you mentioned are helping push forward stories that they're
The
wanting to
content's
tell.
just not great.
It's just the people involved as well. So like I don't like
Sure,
the
sure.
Okada one didn't bother me at all. It seems to have bothered you. It literally bothered me negative. Like it didn't. I was
It
cool
didn't
with it.
necessarily bother me. It was just literally not 2 minutes of just nothing.
That's always been a part of wrestling though. Go back and watch the Attitude Era, dude. Tons of it, and we had no problem with it back then.
I had a problem with it. I watched fucking Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie get wheeled around in a fucking trash can for 45 minutes while we were chanting, "What's on Nitro?"
Yeah, but you're talking about one segment that was super long that they had to clean up, and you were actually there for it.
Length and substance matters.
Um, Okada coming on for 20 seconds to talk shit to Takeshita, I didn't find an issue with. Um,
And you're right. I'm reaching, but the point is still there, right? Like a little more substance, please. Like I don't need like Raw where it's a 20-minute fucking talk, a 20 to
right.
25-minute talking thing where it's just long and pointless.
But
But
I definitely agree with the Tony part because like there's no reason for her to have to come on and do her normal shtick. I love her to death. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
it's like you could have like came out. You could have had her come out to the ring and be like, "So who's gonna fight me?" And then have somebody come out.
yeah, and they could have done that on Collision. And I know she's in a match and stuff, but they could have done that post match where everybody disappeared and she stays in the ring, does exactly what you said. You get the reveal, you get a graphic, and you move on. Your match is booked for the pay per view, and you don't have to do anything else.
Nah, you gotta at least hype up the match.
You'll get promos from both on the following week's thing, but you don't have to do anything else that week.
Right. I also didn't need, and this whole thing, and because WWE's doing it a lot lately too, especially with like Judgment Day. I don't need people showing up for multiple segments in a show all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
There's just like Raw, there's too much Judgment Day there. There's too much Death Riders.
Too much Death Riders. I didn't need Stokely yelling at people backstage.
No, I hate that he's with FTR.
I didn't need FTR again backstage just to set up, like I said, a match that nobody wants to see.
Yeah, because you could literally have Excalibur explain that away leading into the next match. Oh, due to the mayhem in the ring, Tony Khan has booked FTR versus such and a partner of his choosing for Collision this Friday or this Saturday, and you're done.
Right. You know what they didn't show on tonight's Dynamite that happened today? It was
What's that?
it was gonna happen on before Collision, but they pushed it off to today because Tony was gonna make it a part of the show today, but Taz asked him not to. Was Taz being honored?
Oh, the banner that they hung, they did mention it.
Yeah, he was gonna actually make it a part of the show, the whole thing. But Taz had actually asked him not to do that. He said, "Let it, let the show be focused more on, the people that are wrestling."
Yeah, Taz knows he doesn't need to get over.
Right.
Taz is Taz.
So that's I don't know.
Good on him. Good on him.
There was something else.
Plus, he's probably worried about being choked up again because he was pretty choked up when they revealed it.
Right. Oh, and we found out today, which Joe and I talked a little bit about through messaging, that they are going to start airing pay-per-views on Max. for $10 cheaper. Now,
Yep.
above all, that still means I'm going to get pay-per-views $10 cheaper than I was paying for. But I also get Max for free because of my cable provider. That doesn't help you, who has to pay for Max, and then you have to pay for the pay-per-view. Like, you might as well just go ahead and keep paying for the pay-per-views.
I am. I'm not gonna screw with the Max thing. Because I DVR all of them, and my fast forward and rewind and all that stuff is better on my DVR than it is through any streaming app.
Right.
And I am glad that they pushed the pay-per-view up to happen in the afternoon, so they didn't have to compete with WrestlePalooza.
Compete fully, anyways, because we don't know how long it's going to run. Because it's starting. It's starting
5 hours max, so they'll be done by 7 because it's supposed to start at 2.
3.
Which means it really starts at noon because their freaking pre-show is like 2 hours long.
I think it's 3.
Oh, for fuck's sake! That is a lot of wrestling that day. That'll be it. That'll be like old WrestleMania day, where it's 8 damn hours. You working a shift.
3 p.m. starts 3 p.m. Eastern.
So that means pre-show starts at noon.
1. Their pre-show's 2 hours.
Okay, I'm for it. Well, I'm for it depending on the matches.
Yeah.
On the pre-show. I'm obviously watching the main show.
So here's the thing. I'm glad that they're doing this because of my... I'm glad that I'm going to get to watch WrestlePalooza live because they are stacking that card. There's only one match so far that they've announced that I don't want to see. And everything else I'm interested in that they've talked about so far.
So you're really into Lesnar and Cena then?
No, that is the one match I don't care about.
I don't really want to see Punk and AJ versus Becky and Seth.
I want to see that just because AJ's coming back. I'm bummed that they're using AJ's return as an aid,
fodder for their feud.
An aid to their feud. I think that kind of sucks.
It makes sense though because it's couple and couple, but I'm ready for Seth and Punk both to do something else.
But I am mostly ready for Io and Stephanie Vaquer to actually have a match that they get to finish. Maybe.
We'll see if they finish it. I'm not gonna count on that until I see a decisive winner one way or the other.
But that's my most anticipated match for WrestlePalooza.
You know what bums me out?
What's that?
Stephanie hasn't been on TV lately. They've all her momentum has cooled.
That is true. She has not shown up on Raw almost really
at all. They haven't had her do anything. And that's a bummer. Io's been all over the damn screen, mostly getting yelled at by Asuka.
Right.
But Stephanie hasn't done jack a squat, and that's confusing.
I'm trying to see if they have
Instead of having some of those Judgment Day tag team matches, they should have been probably booking her to look strong still.
Oh, the only match they have technically officially announced is the women's title match. But we know we're getting AJ and Punk.
Yeah, that'll probably pop up on Friday. Because they're in Chicago, so you know she's coming back on Friday.
We know we're probably getting Lesnar versus Cena. That's the rumored match and has been for a while. We know
since before the show was even announced.
Right. We know that we're probably going to get the Usos versus Braun.
Braun.
Which that'll be a good match. Should be.
It should be. It'll probably be way too much Usos going over.
So that's 4 of your 5 matches. What do you think they do the other match? Do you think they'll do maybe a women's? No, because she's in that. They won't do a women's intercontinental.
Maybe Tiffy versus Jade.
Maybe. Who are the tag?
As far as men goes,
who are the tag champs over there? That's the New Day. Dear God, that's
JD. It's the Judgment Day.
Yeah, Judgment Day. Do they have anybody?
They don't really have anybody. That's why the New Day is still mourning the tag team titles.
Aren't they mourning the ones on SmackDown though? Or Raw?
No, the
SmackDown.
SmackDown ones were the ones with Fraxium and
Oh, you're right.
Alberto and Alberto. God damn it, Triple A. Andrade and well, Andrade's hurt right now, but DIY and all those fools that just did the ladder match.
Right. I don't know. There's obviously we'll see what happens, but we know what more than likely
Maybe
4 of the 5
maybe you
matches
get
are.
Damian Priest versus Aleister Black.
Maybe they could do it in like some sort of hardcore or no falls count anywhere match or some shit.
Yeah, because
They need to be put in something where they can beat the hell out of each other because that's where their feud is kind of at now.
yeah, they need a blow off. They need some sort of blow off match.
And I hope they put Black over, but I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. I'll be honest. Black needs a group.
He does. I don't find him near as entertaining solo. I just don't.
Well, not with the way they're booking him. When he was good, when he was solo, he was out there every week being kind of dominant, and then getting feuds with like bigger stars, and then having kind of longer banger matches. But him by himself, just talking, he's done way too much talking.
Right.
And then the shit he has done has been with like Truth and Priest. And nothing against Truth, but you immediately get put with anything with Truth because of how they've booked him. It screams comedy, so anything serious doesn't go over very well.
Right. Well, then
But
again,
because
though,
they ruined that.
yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see what all they do. They've still got 2 weeks to figure that out, anyways. So.
Yep.
And they've already got, like I said, we already know what 4 of the 5 to 6 matches are going to be, anyways. Unless they pull a U-turn. Somebody said that if they don't bring in AJ, which has already been ruined, like it's already been leaked that she is going to be there. But somebody did say if for whatever reason it's not AJ, you want to talk about what's going to be the most disappointing thing from the fans' side of things for the last, like probably the most disappointing thing in the last.
Yeah, no
10
matter
years.
who they put in there, even if they put like Rhea in there, people are gonna be disappointed.
Yep.
Because Rhea doesn't have anything going on right now, and maybe that's what we get. Maybe we get Asuka and Rhea.
Ooh, that's a match I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind.
Yeah, on pay-per-view, let them fight.
Just let them go.
Yes, I don't want to see some bullshit fucking TV match.
Put Julia
Let
in there
them
too,
go.
because that's the kind of match Julia likes to be. And she has no business being in it. But I just want her to have a match where she can just beat the fuck out of somebody.
I just want her to do anything of substance because she is literally doing dick, like nothing.
Right. I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah.
But alright, guys, that's it. Thank you all for hanging out. We love you. We'll see you next time. Deuces.
Later.